Solano Youth Voices, a youth-led project, was designed to elevate the voices of youth from across the county and bring about policy change. The core of the project is a youth leadership council comprised of youth who have experienced a range of self-reported challenges. Our diverse backgrounds and experiences ensure that underrepresented youth voices are brought to the forefront of our work. In its first year, the council was responsible for assessing the challenges facing youth in the county and crafting a policy platform to address unmet needs.
The need was for a needs assessment to identify what the priority issues for youth in Solano County were. And so to accomplish that, we wanted young people who were trained and leaders to talk with other young people directly and hear from them about what those needs were.
This platform gives students an understanding of how different systems work and how they can contribute to changing or holding systems accountable for services that they deserve and that communities deserve.
One of the things with working with Solano Youth Voices is that I'm working with students. Not only is education important, but developing our youth, because one day they will be taking over. They need to understand how government works. I've read the packet that they've put together. They reached out and talked to 700 students. They reached the issues that are important to me.
In order to ensure that we were engaging with the full diversity of voices of youth from across the county, council members undertook a significant peer outreach effort to understand the experiences, needs, and priorities of youth in Solano County.
This included formally surveying more than 700 of our peers and convening 17 focus groups. Council members also conducted extensive research and met with over 20 community leaders and issue experts to learn more about their perspectives and current policies, and to understand the context within decisions are currently made. The information and opinions gathered through the survey, forums, and community meetings then shaped the initial policy platform developed by the Council. There were a total of 14 issues created by the survey. But overall, our top 4 things that we saw people being concerned about were mental health, bullying, homelessness, and education. So we took a step back and figured out all of these do affect education in some way or another. So we took those top 3, and then we looked at them through the realm of education and how they would affect a student.
I really like the research that they did. One of the things that we're working on in the board, at least from my perspective, is that I want to have data. They have data. They went out and they got the information. And using data, then we can form the policies. We can get the money through Sacramento, we can get the money through DC as to what it is that we need to do.
I was really surprised that so many youth were concerned about homelessness. And I guess that's just like a privileged attitude I have, that I've never had to deal with that. My friends have never had to deal with that. And so, yeah, it was just really eye-opening to see that there's a lot of people who have that issue, and it makes me a lot more grateful that I don't.
We met with Jonathan Lucio up at the Capitol, and they kind of gave us advice on how to pick and choose and write things out in a way that our recommendations would seem clear, concise, and attainable.
You know, he heard us, he listened to us, so that was pretty cool. And after that, I just realized, like, okay, if we can get the guy from the Capitol to listen to us, just imagine the community members. So yeah, that was a really cool experience.
So our connection with Solano Youth Voices is through the Children's Network Alliance, where we were asked to be an issue expert on homelessness. So we had a death in our own city. Aaliyah, she was only 9 years old and she died a couple of years ago. But we need a stronger presence and stronger sense of urgency in addressing issues like that. And winter's coming, and where do you think these children are gonna go? Rain comes, you know, it gets colder, and that's why Aaliyah died. She was too cold. We can identify where our children are, you know, go in partnership with schools and just check in, make phone calls, and make sure that they're warm and safe and not going to go through that like terrible death.
We started to collaborate with Solano Youth Voices, and they came to Fighting Back Partnership to facilitate breakout session with the youth that we're involved with and in the community, and so, you know, got their feedback on, you know, and did the focus group and talked about all kinds of different issues and potential solutions.
We had a meeting, so they presented this really comprehensive report and kind of shared some of those findings with me. And so we kind of had back and forth conversations on strengthening our partnership to be able to address those very same issues in hopes of collectively, creating a better services and better outcomes for the youth in the community.
When we put together focus group solutions that were suggested, our youth leaders' own just wisdom about it, and then the issue experts' input as well, that's how we actually came up with the recommendations.
Solano Youth Voices developed 7 strategies to implement within the school system. The overarching goal is to further develop schools into emotionally and physically safe spaces that allow students to learn and thrive.
Next step is implementation strategy. So now they're figuring out how to make it happen. How do they put this into action?
So I'm very happy to be involved in this process. I want to work with the students. I want to make sure that their policies get through. I'm happy to introduce them to whatever it is that they need. So it's fun in this particular job as being a board of supervisors that I still have my fingers in with kids. So that's very important to me.
We're one of many youth leadership groups in Solano County. There are several really excellent groups who are doing great work. So we just want to draw everybody together around, these core issues and work together on them. There's so much power in the various leadership groups.
This has been the closest that we have that is defining as the Solano Youth Voices what it is that the children are going through, what they need help with. And so I think this is one of our strongest partnership, and we look forward to years and years of not just advocacy, but actually implementing change.
I think it's a really great program, and if I were 10 again, I would actually sign up myself.
Something that I really admire about the youth with Solano Youth Voices is a lot of the youth, just through conversations, have direct experience with a lot of the issues. That takes such an amazing amount of courage to be able to put yourself on the line like that, and those experiences have actually made them a lot stronger and more prepared for dealing with finding solutions.
This experience was very positive and very supportive, and I'm continuing, and I wish to continue more.
My favorite part about Solano Youth Voices was definitely being able to meet a lot more different people than I was used to. It's always eye-opening to meet people who've walked a different path in life than you. Just being able to understand their experiences and then build off of that.
I feel like the council itself was a super unique experience. That it was a really amazing thing to see blossom amongst everyone and everyone's confidence grow. From Amira, who went from not talking at all during meetings to being such a big source of inspiration and support. Or Troy, who even when he wasn't talking to anyone, even when he was trying to be reserved and play it cool, he still memorized everyone's speeches for the policy forum just in case someone messed up. Just seeing the amount of support that we gave each other, even if we didn't always acknowledge it or realize it was there, was amazing, and I hope that continues through every council to come.